In today's world, a dentist who has a lot of different skills and can take care of more of the needs of their patient is really in demand. It's good for the patient. It's also good for the doctor to be able to do that. And so that means a little extra training can really be handy, particularly training in some of the oral surgery areas and understanding what to do, what not to do in that. And we've got a real treat for you today. As a dentist, you're about to experience something that can really help you and your patients a lot. Joining me right now from his offices out there in Utah is Dr. Karl Koerner, and he is a person who has worked with many people for that. Dr. Koerner, thanks for joining us today.
I'm glad to be here, Terry.
Well, for those that haven't had a chance to meet you yet, I wanted to read a little bit about who you are. Until recently, you were an associate professor in oral surgery at Roseman University of Health Services College of Dental Medicine in Utah. Currently, he is an adjunct professor there and has presented hundreds of didactic and participatory oral surgery courses in the U.S. and around the world, speaking about twice a month at dental meetings, both large and small. And the thing that's exciting, he is equipping dentists in today's world with some extra skills that really help them in the real world. Dr. Koerner, tell us a little bit about that from the big picture point of view of how you're helping dentists with oral surgery, helping them to learn these important skills.
Well, oral surgery has always been a part of dentistry, right? I mean, oral surgery, extractions, that's what people do. Lately, it's been a little less so as dental schools have backed off a little on how much oral surgery they teach. So we try to pick up a little bit of that slack. I mean, dental schools are great and they're doing a good job. It's probably because there's just so much information nowadays that those students have to learn. What we do is take it from there, whatever they were able to do, the best they were able to do, and give them additional skills that they might need to make it like easier, make it faster, make it more predictable so they know how long it's going to take and not, go, an hour instead of 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I like the way you're doing that because in what you're doing in the work that you do, you're helping so many people to get these important skills. And I like the way you're doing because today we're not always able to, because of many different reasons, particularly as we're recording this, we have quarantine or semi-quarantine, not able to do it. You're doing it in kind of a hybrid way. There's physical, in-person training that you do, but you're also doing training via Zoom. Tell us a little bit about that and the breakthrough ideas that you are using.
We kind of happened onto that with the Washington State AGD. They had like a lot of people coming for a course. They had to cancel, but they called me and said, rather than totally canceling, can we do it? Maybe, is there any way we can do hands-on with Zoom? And I said, let me give that some thought. What we ended up with was sending all these people that were going to come that couldn't now. We sent them a kit of supplies and we sent them a model. We had them get their own instruments, which they were able to do, work in their office or maybe at home if they had an electric motor. And we put the whole thing together just as if we were all in one room. And it worked out fantastically. The people that did it, all the reviews that came back were good and they seemed to enjoy the experience and learn from it.
Dr. Koerner, that is amazing. What you're doing there is something that's probably going to be just commonplace practice 40, 50 years, but you're doing it today. And for those of you dentists that are watching this, think about this. You need to enhance those skills. We know that. That's why we have the continuing education. But here's something that is breakthrough. It's ideas that you can use and implement that. Matter of fact, Dr. Koerner, before we started recording, you were talking about a recent student of yours who was a dentist that had particular training from you, and when they, in their office, their practice, they had to lay off some or put some people out of work for a while. This person, because he went through your course, had the skills. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, that's right. It was a smaller group. It was a smaller corporation. They had 8, but they had, of those 8, there were 3 that were fairly new, and my friend was one of those. They knew with the downturn in the economy and the number of patients, they just couldn't afford to maintain everybody. They had to let somebody go. So they let the 2 go that had the least training and were the least efficient. And they kept my friend because of the surgery understanding and the experience that he had had.
Wow, that is strong. If you're watching this and thinking, maybe I need these skills, listen to what Dr. Koerner just said. The 2 that didn't have the training, They had to let them go for right now. The one that had the training, that's valuable and can really help a lot. Well, Dr. Koerner, we're not going to let you get away without you tell us there's a couple of courses you've got right now that you're offering, and you've made some real special offers with those that are helping dentists in the real world today. Would you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Well, when I mentioned, of course, just a minute ago, we're doing that same thing now that we've refined it more. We're going to do it through our organization, KCSI, that's the Koerner Institute, on the 17th and 18th of July. That course was a lot more. We've lowered the price to $1,200, and even a couple $100 off that, if they will sign up to attend it on our website, which is KCSI, KoernerCenter.com. So
Okay, and please spell that for us.
have.
Those that might be listening to this in audio only, please slowly spell that for us.
So that's Koerner Center, and that's all they need to put in, Koerner, KoernerCenter.com, and they'll be able to sign up for this course, which is online, and it's hands-on, and we'll be doing that in July. So yes, we welcome our Nachos friends to come to that. And then we have a course at the end of July, which we were doing it in Nicaragua. We've changed it. We're like only half the distance now. And it's a destination place, Guadalajara. We have a place there where we can work with a local clinic and do a ton of surgical extractions. So we limit the number to 6 people or so. But 2 people work together as clinicians, but they have their own professor, their own instructor to work with them for 3 days, just doing surgical extractions one after another, as many as they can do. And we've also got that course as well. I have some codes here. So that July, to get that discount, it's July Nachos.
July
Okay?
Nachos.
The one in the middle of July, the online Zoom, that's July Nachos.
Is that as one word, lowercase?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for the one in Guadalajara, that's patient treatment. And by the way, before they come, we'll have them do 8 hours of video. So when they get there, they actually hit the ground running. That's PT Nachos for patients.
PT Nachos. P as in Papa, T as in Tango, Nachos.
Right. Right.
I like it. Very good. Well, before we let you go, any final words that you would say to that dentist that's kind of on the fence, thinking, well, I've been thinking about learning more about oral surgery. I thought a little bit more about this and thinking the training. What would you say to that dentist that's watching?
I would just say this training is very effective. One of the dentists that attended in Washington wrote a very nice testimonial saying that he was hesitant to do this and hesitant to do that. And after that course, which included that 16 hours that we were together working on models, he was able to do far more than he had before. He's not totally where he needs to be yet, but he definitely advanced because of that course.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for all the work you're doing for the dentist and for those of us that are patients of dentists. You help us so that our dentists can do that even better. Thank you very much for being with us, sir.
Nice talking to you.